They have fish that are pets. And so we are going to do pet trivia that are fish. Now, what do you know about fish? Approximately how many species of fish are there worldwide? Is it 9,000, 27,000, 56,000, or 72,000? What do you think the answer might be? Hi, Amber. What do you think the answer is? Is it 9,000, Kitty? No. Is it 27,000? Yes, it is 27,000. There are approximately 27,000 known species of fish, easily making them the most diverse group of vertebrates. And scientists estimate that there are still thousands of species of fish yet to be discovered at the bottom of the ocean. What species of fish produces the most eggs? Is it an ocean sunfish, a squirrelfish, a red-toothed triggerfish, or a salmon? What species of fish produces the most eggs? So we're already strangely lagging. Wild. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Why are we lagging already? Huh. Yeah, we can just take care of some of these things right now. You know, it's unfortunate that that happens, but give me 1 second while I take care of a few things real quick here. Yeah. We just aren't going to do this again every day. We just aren't. You know, sad, but I guess if this is how I have to do it, this is what we will do. Love that for everyone. All right. Who thinks it is an ocean sunfish? Is it the ocean sunfish? Yes, it is. Thank you, Carl. All right. The ocean sunfish produces more eggs than any other species of fish. In fact, it produces more of the eggs than any other vertebrate on the entire planet. A single female can produce up to 300 million eggs at a single spawning, each measuring about 1.3 millimeters in diameter. Considered a delicacy in Asia, a single mola can fetch prices of up to $1,800 United States currency. That is crazy. All right, some of you probably got a goldfish while you were at a fair. Am I right? Probably. How many different varieties of goldfish, though, are there? Is it 20? Is it 50? Is it 100 or 250? How many different varieties of goldfish are there? Is it 50? Good guess, but that is not the right guess. Is it 100? Yes, it is 100. Thank you, Scott. Thank you guys all for the gifts. I appreciate them. There are over 100 different varieties of goldfish classified by color, body shape, finnage, and outgrowth of the eyes. Some common variety of goldfish include the comet, the fantail, the oranda, the shabunkin, and the black moor. Perhaps the most popular of all the aquarium fish, goldfish have been known to live up to 25 years. Crazy. Am I right? Crazy. You can get a goldfish at a fair and it could live up to 25 years. Holy crap. All right. What is the fastest fish in the ocean? Hi, Real Vibes. Hi, Tum Tum. Is it a swordfish? Is it a racing shark? Is it a mako shark or a sailfish? What do you think? Is it the sailfish? Yes, it is. How did Bruce know this? Although it is, of course, extremely difficult to measure the swimming speed of a large fish, okay? The cosmopolitan Sailfish, right? The cosmopolitan sailfish is considered by many experts to be the fastest of all the fish. Yes. How fast does it go, you ask? Well, thank you for asking. It has been clocked at speeds of over 68 miles per hour. Yeah, that's 110 kilometers per hour for some of you. And the average fish would be hard pressed to reach. How fast do the average fish go? 12 miles per hour. So that gives you an idea. The fastest fish in the world goes the same as your car on the highway if you're in America. What species of fish, dubbed Frankenfish by the media, caused a panic among fish farmers when it began invading aquaculture farms in Florida and feeding on fish stocks? Was it the white croaker, the walking catfish, a walleye, a weasel shark? What do you think it was? What do you think it was? The walking catfish? Correct. I don't know how you knew this, but you did. The walking catfish, also known as the magur of Pluck to Dam, I can't even say it, caused a panic among fish farmers in Florida when it began invading their aquaculture farms and feeding on fish stocks. Dubbed Frankenfish by the media, the walking catfish breathes air and is capable of making short migrations across land. When their food supply runs out, the walking catfish simply migrates, marching like an enemy, sometimes thousands of them at the same time, to the next food supply. When they stumble upon a fish farm, the effects can be devastating as they are very aggressive predators. If they go undetected, they can wipe out a farmer's stock of fish in relatively a short time. Even killing a pond by pumping down, spreading active lime, and using chlorine is not guaranteed to stop the spread of these fish, as they are capable of burying themselves deep into the mud. A native of southeastern Asia, the walking catfish is now established in Florida and has been reported in numerous other United States, including California, Connecticut, Georgia, Massachusetts, and Nevada. That is crazy. Okay, got you. So, you know, what is the debris in these tanks made out of?
It's really a lot of food. So the food that they don't eat that settles to the bottom can turn into ammonia, and
Oh,
ammonia messes up the pH balance of the water, and that can be toxic to fish.
okay, so it's really just like a matter of like whatever food that they don't eat, and it just kind of lingers inside the water.
Yeah, and of course they go to the bathroom. They go to the
Okay.
bathroom in the tank, and that can be toxic to fish if it just settles and sits in the bottom of the tank.
Oh, okay.
And
And
the
then
other
what
thing is
happens when there's too much ammonia in a water?
it the pH levels, the acidity levels in the water get too high, and that can be toxic for the fish to breathe.
Oh,
The other thing is the algae levels in the tank need to be regulated. My algae eater, my pleco, actually recently passed away, and that's why you see algae buildup in the tank. So I'm actually cycling the tank right now to build up good bacteria, good algae, and then I'm going to get a nice big pleco to kind of clean all this stuff up here in the next week or two.
okay. Where do you find a pleco?
So I'm going to go to the local pet store, the local, and I'm going to get a nice, probably an albino pleco. Those can be a little bit more pricey, but they're worth it because they don't get super big for like this 20-gallon. They only get up about 5 or 6 inches, and they'll clean this tank up real nice.
Okay, so you only need one pleco.
Yeah, I'll just need one albino Cory or albino pleco, and then he'll clean this whole thing up just fine.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Hmm. Well, all right. So when you have these albino plecos, where do you find them at? You have to go to a store to get one, or how does that work?
Yep. I'll just go to that local pet store, and I've gotten really good friends with the owner.
Okay.
And he'll give me a discount on all the fish that I get, and I've really gotten close with them, and they just give me good deals on the fish. So like maybe a $50 albino pleco, he might charge me $20.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
the
I mean, I buy all
whole,
my fish from that dealer. So
you got a fish dealer, Bruce?
I got a fish dealer.
Got the fish dealer.
I'm trying to find the big tetra in here. He kind of hides, but let me see if I can get around. Oh, he's in the back.
This will get you a date in just 15 seconds. Did you know all the single girls in your area are using this app to meet guys? Well, now you do. And the best part, you can start meeting real women for free as soon as you finish watching this video. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now, and you'll thank me later. Bye.
cichlids. That's a very pretty freshwater fish, but you want to basically just put African cichlids with other African cichlids.
So are tetras aggressive fish,
No,
Bruce?
tetras are one of the, so I would recommend anybody who wants to start a fish tank, tetras, there's so many different varieties of tetras. I would just get an assorted variety of tetras. Don't overwhelm the tank with a lot of tetras, but they're very, very easy to maintain. They can live long time and they don't get more than 2 to 3 inches. So, and gouramis as well, right, Dotch? Yeah, gouramis can be that, and so are mollies. So any of those are good ideas to start out with. If you're looking to get something a little bit more cool than a beta that just sits in a little tank, and you want to get something a little bit more big in a tank, tetras are a good way to colorify your tank.
By colorify, you mean like add a colory fish?
Yeah. Tetras come in all different shapes, sizes, colors. Yep.
Okay. So if you're just coming in, Meow and Me, welcome in. This is Bruce as our special guest. Please make sure you have him favorited. If you haven't favorited Bruce, please click on his name and hit him with a favorite tonight. We are talking about his fish. Hey, Bruce, did you name any of your fish?
I haven't named these ones other than that big one back there. I actually my little girl named it, and she named it Ketchup because she has a ketchup joke. I don't know why she named it Ketchup, probably because it has a little red dot, but she named it Ketchup. So that is the name of that fish back there. I've had it for about 3 years now.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think everybody likes the fact that your little girl named your fish Ketchup.
Yeah.
Do you want to name one mustard and then relish? That'd be funny.
Right.
Okay. Like, I'm having all the snacks, I'm joking, of course. So I don't want to eat your fish. You know, okay, so how long have you been involved in the fish world, Bruce?
So honestly, my parents, when we were growing up, my mom's allergic to dogs and cats, and so was my grandpa. We never really were able to get dogs and cats as kids, so we always had fish tanks, Kitty. So
Okay.
I've been having fish tanks since I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
So years, to be honest. I've been doing fish tanks and this stuff for a really, really long time.
Okay, so you kind of grew up then in the fish tank type world and having the fish as friends.
Yeah.
Do you think fish have feelings, Bruce?
Well, I mean, obviously their brains aren't as developed as ours, but they definitely need to be taken care of. You can't just put fish in the water and not feed them and clean the tank, because they're going to die very quickly if you do that. So if you're about to do that, don't do that. That's very inhumane.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Do you ever have fish that eat the other fish?
No, so that goes back to the compatibility chart. Make sure you're putting fish in there that are compatible with the other fish. I have had fish that have died quickly, but I think that's maybe an adjustment issue where the pH levels from the water at the store wasn't really on point with the water here, and they just got shocked very quickly.
What happens when you say shocked, is that because of the temperature of the
No, I think the acidity level in the water was not the same, and it just was a shock to their system. They're still pretty young fish when they're in the store.
Okay.
So I just don't think their bodies could handle it.
How do you know then? Like, how do you know what the acidity levels are? If you get a fish from the store, how do you bring them properly into your tank?
So there's pH test strips that you can do. And I'm glad you brought that up, Mark. You want to acclimate the fish. So what I do is I introduce the water from my tank to the water in the bag from the store for about a half hour to make sure they are going to be okay. But there are pH test strips that you can do for your water to make sure it's under a certain level. I know this water's safe, and I treat it, so I don't even test it anymore. I haven't lost any fish for that reason in a very long time. But I do test it if I feel like I'm introducing a fish I've never introduced to this water before.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that makes a lot of sense. So you kind of like cats, you put them in a separate room, but
Yeah. like a separate holding tank. So I have a separate holding tank that I can hang off the side where they can see the water. And then I just put the little water from this tank to their tank so they can just be introduced for about a half hour to an hour. And then that tells me it's safe to put them in the tank then. And then I'll show you the thermometer. You're going to want to get the water at all times up to about, you'll see it's at about 74 to 76 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
So a little bit above room temperature. That is a good temperature to be at.
So do you have like a heater thing? Like you get a space heater?
Yep. So you see that thing right there? That actually heats the water.
Okay, so that's the heater?
Yeah, because these fish are all in South America, some are in Asia, and they're in warmer temperature waters. We have to remember that.
Okay.
So they're used to being in those warmer temperatures.
So that thing turns on and then it becomes warm?
Yeah. Yep. So it identifies when the water hits a certain temperature, and then it just turns on when it needs to.
Okay, I like that. That makes sense. I'm here for that. Okay.
And the other thing is that filter, this filter is important. It cleans out the food, the excess food, the excess waste, the algae. So you want to change your filter whenever it gets dirty. So I probably change my filter about once a month.
Okay.
And the filter looks like this. This is what a clean filter looks like. It's got carbon in it. It's got black carbon stuff in it.
Okay, gotcha.
To filter out the stuff. But this is what it looks like clean. And it'll just kind of have a bunch of stuff that gets trapped in it.
All right. So it really and then you just pick it out of the tank thing and then replace it all together once per month?
Yep. Typically on average. Depends how dirty the tank is. There's only, like I said, there's only about 5 fish in here, so it doesn't get as dirty as if I were to have maybe 10 in here, but.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, so there's a lot of work that goes into also having a fish then, and
I mean,
a healthy fish.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I probably put maybe 2 hours a month total.
Oh, that's not too much.
No, because I this is really a stress reliever for me. I can tell you, I meditate and just sit and stare at the tank during my meditation, and it's very relaxing for me. So this is a really big benefit for me. From that aspect. Yeah, I really use this for meditative stuff for me, for my mental health.
And that's fair. I mean, I never thought of that as a place for like quiet contemplation.
It's also a blue light. There's also a blue light on the tank.
Oh.
So I put this on at night and then I just kind of stare at it. Blue light when it's at night. Yeah.
Does it have like color changing? Can you make it like a disco in there or what?
No, just the LED white and the ultraviolet blue.
Okay, bet. All right. It's disco time. Let's go. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good question. Is the water, does it filter down where it's making kind of like bubbling noises?
Yeah, so that's why I don't always fill it up when it evaporates. I like the running water. People in my stream make fun of me and say, "Are you peeing, Bruce?" I'm like, "No, it's just the fish tank." And it's actually very relaxing.
They think your peeing is wild.
Right.
You know? You're like, no, I'm just listening to my ketchup right now. Get off of my vibes.
Right.
Oh, facts. So I'm here. So what would you recommend for a first time like fish person?
So
like, if you were just say getting your daughter into it, for instance, like what would you recommend?
So for kids, I definitely say maybe a betta fish or a goldfish in a smaller tank. They're very easy to take care of, and I would just get one of them in a small tank for them. They can take care of them, they can feed them, they're not overly high maintenance. A goldfish or a betta, I would say for sure.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
So
don't go with these bigger tanks right away. Just get a beta or a goldfish in a small tank for sure.
okay. And then what if you were going to pick any fish in the world, if you could pick anything that you wanted in the world, right?
Yeah.
For having in your goldfish tank, what, or not goldfish, but in your aquarium tank, what would that be? I'm just curious.
I really want to get like 100-gallon saltwater tank, and I want to fill it with like the dory fish. I want to get a lemon peel. I want to get clownfish. I want to get sharks. I want to get eels. I want to do that. I haven't done that because saltwater tanks take an expert. You've got to really know what you're doing because the salt balance and the pH balance is a lot of work.
Okay.
Nice.
I have you ever had a saltwater tank before, Bruce?
I did it once and I was overwhelmed by it. So I just took all this fish back to the store and said, I'm not ready for this.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, it's hard to keep a small tank with salt water. I don't know anything about fish keeping. Is that what it's called? Fish keeping? Aquariumism? I don't really get what.
I can't remember the official name, but yeah.
Is it called aquariumism? I don't know. I'm a professional fish keeper. I don't know. Well, okay, so you should start with something small. Now, you would go with the full-on saltwater fish tank, it sounds like, if you had a choice. So
yeah,
that's fair. Like, it is an amazing hobby. Do you consider it a hobby as well? I mean,
yeah, I think, I mean, I have a lot of different hobbies like collecting cards, coins and stuff, but this one is actually more of a mental health peace thing for me. I don't even view this as a hobby, but it is. I guess it is a hobby, but this is for my mental health.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, that does make a lot of sense as well. Why not use it for maybe a little bit of both? You could do a little bit of both on it, right? Why not?
For sure.
All right, well, in our last couple of minutes together, Bruce, what do you have going on the app? When can people find you? When can they see you? What do you have going on tonight?
So I stream pretty much every day, guys. I do have a show every Monday night right before Kitties. It's called Mental Health Monday. It's something I'm very passionate about. I've struggled for mental health stuff my entire adult life, so I do enjoy talking about my struggles, my recovery. So if you don't have me favorited, I'd appreciate if you do get me favorited. We are trying to make a big difference on this app when it comes to mental health awareness. So I'd love to see you all there. Other than that, I love hanging out with people. I love to just make people smile. So that's really what I have going on, Kitty.
I appreciate that. So if you guys haven't already, please make sure you click and follow Brucey. Okay, go check him out on his Instagram as well. Bruce, thanks for being my special guest tonight.
Thank you, Kitty. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right. Well, that's it for Bruce, you guys. Thank you, Bruce. And then we go through, wait, what is going on here? Please don't come in my box right now. Okay. Can you please remove, I was thinking it was cats. All right, if you're just coming in to Meow and Me, welcome in. This is a featured show, which means that we have special guests that are planned. So please don't request my box unless you are that special guest. Also, the next part of our show is called Pets in the News with Cats Roar. So if you haven't already, please click the favorite up here on the top of the screen. Go follow my Instagram. If you want to be, please, if you want to be on the show, please reach out to my Instagram and hit me up and let me know when to have you on the show.
Hi.
Cats, what's up?
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Cats.
Here's a funny little story before I jump in the news. When I was a kid, I grew up, my parents had fish tanks, or my dad did. And I used to play fish store, like I worked at the pet store, and I would go in and I would pick up the fish with my hands and I would hold them and play with them and sometimes drop them on the carpet and then put them back in the tank. Oddly enough, they stayed alive for years and years to come. But yeah, it was pretty funny.
Wow. So those fish were hardy. What kind of fish were they?
They weren't saltwater fish, but they were, I don't even know, like, oh, I can't even think of the name of the kind of fish. Oscars. They were like big Oscars. And I just remember I would be like, oh, look at them. And I'd be like, oops. And they would fall on the carpet and I would pick them up and put them back in the tank over and over again. You know, my parents never knew. But anyway.
Oh,
Good time. Good
I
time.
mean, they sound like they're like ready for wear and tear, you know?
Yes, yes. So I recommend the Oscar if you think you're going to drop them on the carpet. But anyhow, I love your green. You're looking festive for St. Patrick's Day, which is tomorrow. And so I thought I would start with some pet safety tips for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yes, because as we know, oftentimes St. Patrick's Day is full of fun and festivities and food and drinks, but some of those things aren't too safe for your pets. So keep in mind that if you're going to have a cold one on St. Patrick's Day, because it does happen sometimes, that beer or really any kind of alcohol is not good for your pets. Even the tiniest amount can be toxic for your cat or your dog or for any kind of pet that you have. So just make sure that you either keep a lid on them, or, you know, if you spill them, that you clean it up right away so your pet doesn't drink it or ingest it.
Okay, that's good to know.
Another popular thing on St. Patrick's Day is Irish soda bread, which some of you may or may not have had. It's a very traditional Irish St. Patrick's Day type food. But the reason why it's not safe for your pet is because the yeast that's in the bread, it's like it ferments in a way that produces alcohol. And that level of alcohol in the bread can be toxic to your pet. And it can also expand in your pet's stomach. So it's important not to allow your pet to have any Irish soda bread. Interesting. And last but not least, cornbread and cabbage. Who doesn't love cornbread and cabbage at least one time a year on St. Patrick's Day, maybe more. But you know, it can certainly cause a stomach ache for us when we overindulge in it. But for our pets, they said that the results can be a lot more dangerous. That type of meal prepared is very high in fat and very high in salt, which, you know, sounds like it's not good for us. It could be even worse for your pet. You know, it can cause upset stomach, vomiting, diarrhea, those types of things in your pet. So the important thing is that while you're celebrating, whether you're Irish or not tomorrow, just to make sure to keep your pet safe, because some of those things we like to celebrate with aren't very good for them.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, man, you mean the corned beef and cabbage isn't good for me, cats? Like what?
In reality, it's not. But I always say, as long as you don't overindulge, like for me, I probably eat it once a year. So it's like, go for it. You know what I mean? Just go for it. Just go for it.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, moderation is the key to all things. That's what they say, at least, you know.
That's what they say, at least.
Whatever. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So here, this is kind of funny, but you know what? I just turned 48 recently, and I still feel like I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but I think I found a job that I've never heard about before.
Okay, what kind of job?
So they said that there's a thing called a flight nanny now. Now, I'll be the first to say that I don't have kids, so I don't want to be a nanny for some babies or kids, just saying. However, you can be a flight nanny for people's pets.
What?
Yes, because sometimes, and I can see this, people may not want to or don't feel comfortable flying with their own pets. Or they might be in a situation where they can't, you know, maybe I have the wonderful opportunity to move to Spain, and I've gone there, but now I need my pet sent to me, I can actually pay a company that will accompany my cat or dog, or most small pets that can fit like in a carrier under your seat. I can pay someone to take that flight and bring that pet to me.
Oh, that's so fun. Where do I apply?
So basically how they describe this, it's a professional caretaker who will travel with your furry friend on your behalf. And right now they're advertising it as being on airplanes, but they're looking for like trains. They're looking into other modes of transportation that might be helpful with. And then of course they use the example, as I mentioned, moving, to another country, but even just moving across the country. Let's say you live in Pennsylvania and you're moving to California, and maybe you're driving a moving truck across the country. Maybe you just want to pay someone to fly your pet over because it would be a lot easier for everybody. So interestingly enough, they say about 780,000 pets are transported on planes every single year. Yeah, that number kind of surprised me. I don't know what number I thought it would be, but that's a lot of pets.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm like, I don't go anywhere. Where are all these pets going? But that's a lot of pets. So they didn't talk too much about hiring, as you mentioned, but it's a pretty cool service, I think, that's out there. Again, these kind of services and ideas that they come up with to make money. There's a lot of money in the pet industry and the pet service industry. So this is just kind of another facet of that. The other thing that I learned from this article is that, and again, I guess I never thought about this, is that they actually fly even like very large animals like horses, for example.
Oh.
Never knew. Now, obviously, horses have to ride in the cargo area. They're not up front, with the pilot. But they actually have special carriers that they include like a person, like a caretaker that has to be in the carrier with the horse.
Oh.
Fascinating. I imagine that hopefully it's well ventilated, but interesting nonetheless.
Yeah. Howdy, boys and girls. I don't know. Like, you're just hanging out in the cargo bay, I guess.
I guess it's a cool job for somebody. And the ultimate question at the end of all this is, how much does it cost?
Oh yeah, how much does it cost?
So if you needed to fly, let's say Chuck Norris across the country, it would cost at a minimum about $200 or so for the documentation piece of it, but then anywhere from $900 to $1,200 to actually cover the process. Okay. So in total, you're looking at a little less than, let's say, $1,500 to make that happen.
And that's on the cheap side of it.
That's on the cheap side of it, yes. However, there is a company called Bark Air. Who knew? That is a boutique airline that only flies pets. And I'm not talking about those flights for like charitable reasons. I'm talking about a little bougie. It's called Bark Air, where people pay up to about $7,000 to have their pets flown, I guess you could say, in style, from one place to another. So that option still exists, but I don't know about you. I'd rather pay my flight nanny to take my pet, across the country.
I think I'd pay $1,500 versus $7,000, but maybe Chuck Norris hey, if we hit that lottery money, cats, maybe we're flying on Bark Air. You feel me?
Maybe I'm taking my own plane. Who just saying.
Maybe I get a pilot. I have an AI boyfriend robot husband thing, and he's flying a whole plane now.
Yes, and then my dog is sitting in the passenger seat in the cockpit. I don't know, maybe. So I thought that was kind of cool. And the last story I have tonight, it's not as fun, but have you ever heard of, I'm gonna probably say it wrong, pyoderma? No. It's a skin condition in cats and dogs.
Oh.
So this time of year, as it's getting warmer, And you know, the outside is changing, the environment is changing, but really this can happen any time of year. Something called pyoderma is a common skin issue, and in truth, it's, you know, skin issues are really the most common thing that pet owners have to take their pets to the vet for.
Oh.
And you know, every time I know I see my dog itch, I think about allergies, I think about things like that. But for many itchy cats and dogs, it's actually a bacterial infection of the skin called pyoderma.
Oh.
And it's something that's a secondary what do I want to say, diagnosis. So there's usually something like allergies, skin allergies, that your pet may have first as the primary, and then they may get this bacterial infection as a result of those skin allergies.
Okay.
So, you know, unlike people, when something is irritating us or we're allergic to it, we might sneeze, our eyes might water, that type of thing. Pets react in a way that is more associated with their skin and what happens with their skin specifically. So, you know, it's important that if you notice that your pet is itching more, but you also may see things like small pink lesions, they kind of look like mosquito bites on your pet's skin, and this can be for cats or dogs. You know, they advise you to bring your dog to the vet because it might be one of these underlying conditions. Normally what they would do then is they would kind of sample, if you will, or culture the area that's infected and look at it under a microscope to determine if that bacteria is in fact living on the skin.
Oh, wow.
So,
so say you bring, you know, your pet into the vet office and they're like, okay, you know, itching, it could be an allergic reaction, but it could also be a bacterial infection.
Yeah.
So then they have to do a little swabbing, little take a little sample, little scrape and scrape, and then find out, I guess. Wow.
Yeah, and I bring this up just because, like I said, this time of year, we kind of see we tend to see skin changes in our pets with the warmer weather and just some of the environmental changes. They can happen, of course, any time of year. But I think sometimes, and I know I've been guilty of this, that you're just like, oh, they're just itching because they're outside or something like that. You know, the best advice is take a look at their skin. Mm. And if you see something that's kind of out of sorts, you know, this is certainly a possibility. And I bring that up only because it's something that's popular and happens, you know, with a lot of pets. If in fact your pet does contract this viral bacterial infection, it's really just treated with antibiotics. Okay. But similarly, you know, with people, they have to look at how many antibiotics, or how much should I say, the dose. Because, you know, they don't want your pet to build up resistance and all those things that kind of happen with people. But, you know, your best bet is to take your pet to the vet if you can. So that way it can prevent, or the vet can help prevent it from happening again or from spreading on your pet.
So does it spread in other places on the pet? Like say it starts on the ear, does it go to the toe? I mean, are we talking from tip to taint? Like, what are we talking here?
Yeah, so they say that the longer that it goes untreated, the more uncomfortable your pet will become and the more it will spread over your pet's skin.
Okay, so it can spread as well.
Yes, and the more it spreads, then of course, the more aggressive treatment it'll require. And in truth, and I know I'm guilty of this as a pet owner, you're saying, oh, maybe I don't have the money right now, or, you know, this isn't in the budget right now. But then if you wait a month, it might cost you twice as much. So sometimes you're better, you know, taking your pet to the vet early on if you can, because it's not necessarily expensive to treat initially.
Fair enough.
So.
Yeah, I mean, pylorama. I got whatever. The pylorama.
The pyoderma. I'm probably saying it incorrectly.
Pyoderma. I don't know.
The pyoderma. So yeah. So just something to keep in mind as the weather changes.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, Katz, what do you have going on Was that the last of it? If
That
it
is the
is,
last
like,
of
what
it.
do you have coming up and what do you got going on, Cats?
Sure. So I am hosting a new show here on the app. It's not a featured show, but it is certainly a quality show that I hope everybody checks out. It is called Middle Ground with Cats Roar, and the basis is essentially just talking about kind of everything. You know, all the things that your mom told you shouldn't talk about. So whether that's religion, politics, you name it. And the idea is just for people to share their thoughts and their views, and for us to listen and maybe find some middle ground on these topics. So that's every Wednesday at 8:30.
All right. And if people want to be on that with you, what do they do?
You just need to DM me on IG. You can always send me a message on here, whatever's convenient for y'all. So
fair enough. All right. Well, thank you, Cats, for the Cuts in the
you.
News with Cats Roar. Okay.
Thanks. Everybody have a great week.
All right. So that wraps up this week's Meow and Me. Okay. We're actually done on time. It's a first time for everything. You're welcome. So this is a good opportunity for me to say thank you to all of these amazing gifters. If you